everyone, this is Shaq from Standout Running. Thank you so much for tuning in. This video is brought to you by no one because I have no sponsors or no one interested in it yet, but we're going to keep plugging away. All right, so today we're going to be talking about a brand new shoe that just came out that I have been extremely excited for, and a lot of my hopes have been lying on, and that is the Saucony Endorphin Elite 3. All right, so let's talk about Saucony first. This year, 2026, has been incredible so far. And we're halfway through it with all of these shoe releases. Let's start with On. All right, On is a brand not a lot of people like. They're considered dad shoes. No runner takes them seriously. However, that being said, they released two of my favorite shoes of the year, and I will soon be doing my favorite top shoes of the first half. But the On Cloud Monster 3 Hyper, just the normal, like not normal, but the Hyper version, I absolutely love that shoe. I adore that shoe. If you're a fan of the Super Blast 2, your next shoe is that Hyper, not the Super Blast 3. Trust me. And then the On Cloud Monster 3 Hyper Light Spray, Jesus, that is a great shoe. That is a shoe I will be training in, I'll be racing in. I adore that shoe. The price is probably what's killing it most. If they could lower that, a lot of people would be wearing that. I know it because that's such a good shoe. So On is killing it right now. Puma. Puma is dropping shoes left and right, and they figured it out. They figured out how to make a great shoe. Part of it is making it wider. All right. So Puma is dropping good shoes. I guess we have to mention Adidas. Apparently they made some shoe someone ran fast in. I don't know, something like that. And they came out with the Hyper Boost Edge, which is insanely popular given it's an Ultra Boost foam, but it's not. Just change the name. Just a whole new shoe. Granted, the upper is causing some problems, but it's still a really popular shoe. But probably the brand that's doing the most this year is Saucony. Saucony has, first of all, I haven't tried them, but I hear the Triumph is the best in a long time because they're using their Incredifoam in that shoe. I never thought I would say it, but I want to get a pair of Triumph and try them on. They came out with the soon to be released the Paramount Max, not Paramount Plus, Paramount Max. That shoe is getting mixed reviews. People love the cushion on it. It feels very nice, but it's too big. I honestly I have no interest in that shoe just by looking at the width of it. That's a big shoe. It's a wide shoe. That being said, there are people who are probably going to love that shoe and fit them great. All right. Then, of course, you have the Saucony Endorphin Elite 3. Now, this is their premier race shoe, and they treated it as such. So, obviously, if you've had the second, you know what the cushion feels like, but this is such a different shoe. They changed so many things. Granted, it added more weight. They filled in some of the bottom of the shoe. They made it a bit wider. It's more stable. You have more support, and the plate and the roll technology gives it more direction. So you're going forward when you're running, not all over the place. All right. So let's get into the shoe. So the specs is 39.5 millimeters in the heel with 31.5 millimeters in the forefoot. I don't understand 0.5. Just round it up, add a little bit more, a little less. You're not saving anything. Anyway, it's an 8 millimeter drop. The 7.6 ounces, as I said, that's a little bit heavier than the version 2, but the weight is well added. It makes this shoe a lot better, trust me. All right, so going into the upper, it is a airy mesh. It is definitely a race top material. You can see right through it. I will say the mesh feels rough. I don't know if you can hear that, but it feels really good. It's opened up the shoe a lot more. It's a lot more accommodating fit, and it pulls nice and snug. I would really appreciate sawtooth laces on here, but there's a reason why these flat, soft laces are a great choice. That's because the tongue is like extremely stretchy material, and that's all it is. So because of these soft laces, you get no lace bite when you pull them, cinch them tight. No problem there. You have a nice kind of a pillowy feel in the back that's kind of like stitched in, and it works. It feels very nice. That's keeping it very light. They also fixed the bumper at the front of the toes. That used to be even more aggressive and come up over, and so a lot of people had trouble there. While this shoe is much better fit and good for Saucony, I will admit that in the past, other shoes had this problem with them, is that they cut a little bit too sharp across the pinky toe. And so I can kind of feel it there. Now I've run 10-mile intervals in this, like every 2 miles break, 2 miles break. I've run a 15-mile steady pace in this, and I got no blisters from it. But if you follow 40 runs, he had got some massive blood blisters from it, so it can be a problem for some. So watch out for that. That is a concern. You can see that a lot. You have like the knitting here, all the rubber here, and like a less there. It gives a lot of structure to it, so it holds your foot very well. All right. And of course, the show for this is the midsole. This is their TPEE Incrediron foam. Now, as I said, they are using their Incrediron foam in other shoes. However, this is the real deal. This is the luxury one. This is the one that's going to get you that real bounce back and get you going. All right. There is a carbon-plated forked design that is changed to give you more stability. That is a key thing with this shoe. This is not a stable shoe. It's not a stable shoe. I will repeat that. But it's more stable than the last version. It's enough to get you going. However, there are a few caveats that I would say. One, if you have stability needs, this probably is not the shoe for you. Two, you should really pay attention to where you're running with this and if you're racing in it. So a couple things that would worry me. If you have a race with a lot of turns, this might give you some trouble. You might find yourself really slowing down for like any U-turns or anything like that. So be careful on them. I don't know how this thing would do with hills, changes like that. I'm sure it's fine, but I mostly ran in like kind of like flatter roads. So just be aware of that. I'll probably make them do some hill repeats on them just to double check. All right. So the outsole is nice. I don't like I said, that's clean for all my running in it. Okay, I obsessively clean my shoes, but still, like this is, you see no wear on or tear on it. Granted, I've only put like 30-40 miles on it, but still, it's holding up very well, and the rubber is sticky. It holds very well, and that's kind of essential for this shoe. If this didn't hold well and you got any of the turns, you're rolling over. You're not going to be standing much longer. So they really figured this out well. All right. So let's talk about some shoes you can compare it with. First up is the Asics Metaspeed Ray. Now, these shoes are very comparable because of the cushion underneath. Both are the softest shoes you can get. However, there's other differences that make them stand apart. First off is the specs. So the weight for the Metaspeed Ray is a lot lighter. You're talking about 4.5 ounces, 129 grams, compared to the 7.6 ounces and the 216 grams. So that's a very sizable difference. I will say the Elite 3 is a bit more stable, and the Elite 3 has a full carbon plate, whereas the Metaspeed Ray is like the teardrop, kind of half one. You have an 8mm drop in the Elite 3 and a 5mm drop in the Metaspeed Ray. So the Metaspeed Ray is a lot more aggressive, especially for your faster runners. They're going to appreciate that more. And whereas the Elite 3 can go a little bit more relaxed, it's still meant to go fast, but it's not as aggressive as the Ray. Also, the Ray tailors pretty much exclusively to forefoot to midfoot runners. That heel is very unstable in the back, whereas the Elite 3 is an all-around plenty of cushion, although it does favor the midfoot runner the most. Next up is the Hoka Cielo X1 3.0, and there's more similarity in the stats between these two. Whereas the Elite 3 is 7.6 ounces, 216 grams, you have 7.5 ounces, 212 grams in the X1 3.0. The sack height in the Elite 3 is 8, and in the 3.0 is the 7 millimeters. So very similar. You do have about the same forefoot and stack height. So very comparable there. The difference is in the foam. While both are very soft, the Cielo is kind of more firm and gives you a much more aggressive bounce back. You see it right away. You don't really sink in at all. So it's a much more propulsive feeling, and it's definitely making you go forward. Whereas still, despite the changes, let me it can
explain
go
why I
all
said
around
this
different places
shoe
with the Elite 3.
I've been really excited to get my hands on this shoe is because I have a lot of hopes in this shoe, and so far they are being met, but I'm still not completely sold. I've been looking for a good like marathon shoe for when I build up and get ready to do marathons again. I like a nice cushion shoe. I like something that I can run pretty fast in. Like I'm aggressively running in. However, I understand my limitations. I'm going to my feet longer. So I'm looking for that balance. So honestly, I was considering not going carbon plated. That might be best for me overall as a runner. But when I heard about this and heard about the improvements they made, I thought, okay, this could solve all my problems. Before that, the carbon plated shoe I had best luck with was the New Balance SC Elite V5. Fantastic shoe, great for mid distance runners. It just didn't feel fast enough for me, and I'm not going to be running that fast, but I felt myself being held back by that shoe. Um, so I was hoping this can give me the best of both worlds. And it's a lot of bounce. It's a lot of cushion. It's a very fun run. But I do have a feeling that some people will see this just as a long run shoe and not something to race with. They would want something more aggressive. But this is a very expensive long run shoe at retailing at like $290. So let's get into that. Here are my ratings for the shoe. For the look overall, I will give it an A. I think it's a very clean looking shoe. I like the colorway. There's another version. I think it's all in red or like orange. I don't like red. I don't like orange that much. No, I like orange, not red. Um, yeah, so I think it's like the whole color was like kind of like this, and I wasn't feeling it. But that being said, I love a good white shoe with some accents, and this nails it. So very good looking. I like the design. The Saucony logo flows with it very nicely. I like the stitching on the side with the name. The cursive Elite 3, I like the details to it. Now, there is nothing special, like no hidden messages, which seems to be the thing now, as far as I can tell. So we're missing out on that, but still, I give this an A. All right, now the fit. The fit, I'm giving a B. The upper is very nice. Don't get me wrong. I love the feel of it. It locks down very well. I just take that point off because of that. I think that's going to give me some trouble, how it cuts in so sharply. But other than that, it is a great upper. Probably one of, if not the most comfortable carbon plated racing shoe you will try on. Right, so that's a B. Going on to the feel, of course, I gotta give this an A. I mean, this thing is incredible. How it feels, the cushion, the bounce. It's so good. It's so much fun to run in. Such a good improvement over the second one, which is again was a very fun shoe. But this one just you could have more fun in because you don't have to worry about it as much. You can get more of a flow in this one, which is very important to me in my running shoes. All right, the price, oh, $290. I think that's a bit steep. I think that's too much for this shoe. Considering some of the other shoes that I mentioned before, the Ray, I mean, like $10, $15 more or something like that, and you're getting a much better race shoe. But it depends a lot on your running style and your fit. 290 just doesn't feel right for the shoe. It doesn't. So I give that a. I'm gonna give it a C. I'm gonna give that a C. Yep. So overall, I am going to give this shoe a B rating. Now, I have high expectations for it in running. I think a lot of people are going to love it, but I think a lot of people are not going to gravitate toward it because it's too soft, it's too expensive for different various reasons. So this is not a standout shoe for me. It is in the B range. But that being said, I'm enjoying it. I really like it. And I give massive credit for Saucony for their shoes that are coming out this year, their changes. They're becoming the fun, bouncy shoes. And I mean, you cannot fault this shoe because literally they pretty much took everything that was a problem in the Elite 2 and fixed it. And not a lot of companies can do that or do it so well. So full benefits to you, full props. I'm very curious what they will do about the Elite Four because I don't know how you could change this anymore and still keep this fun ride. But you know, that's I'm not paid for that. There's people that's their career. That's what they live for. So not my job. All right. Again, thank you so much for listening. Please like and subscribe. Coming up, I have a 10-mile race that I'm training for, and that will be a start to get back to my marathon shape of the training run, and I'm planning to use these. So I will report on this when after that race. Until then, guys, be bold, be fast, be you, stand out. Thank you.